So Bruce, tell me, what do you think about how we have a standalone New York Fashion Week men's now? How important is that?
Well, I think it's been a long time in coming, and I think for us to be players in the menswear broader world, New York deserves it. I mean, we have the talent here to support it. We have obviously the corporate sponsors to support it, and the retail, our world. But I think it's been long overdue, and Stephen Kolb's been a great champion of it, and it's amazing to see it kind of come to life. I mean, the space is really, really incredible, and we're thrilled. I mean, I think it's great for the industry, and it's great for New York, and it's certainly great for menswear.
And what does that say to American fashion and design on a global level as a whole?
Well, I think it says a lot. I mean, I think, America was kind of the birthplace of sportswear in general. I think the way we look at clothing is a very particularly, cultural way. And I think it has ramifications as far as, validating and giving visibility to designers we have here. But I think in a broader way, we see, design students here at Parsons and FIT that now see menswear as a much more viable option because they see it in its own kind of capacity as having their own fashion week. And I think it has a lot of the halo effect to a lot of those things, like education and beyond just the visibility and marketability to designers.
And when you come to shows, what are you looking for that you know is going to translate? It's creative, it could be a little avant-garde, but you know it's going to also translate commercially. So it's a little bit of a fine line there. So how do, with your eye, as you watch a show, what are you looking for?
Well, I think it's, obviously as the men's fashion director of Bergdorf Goodman, we love the unique, we love luxurious, we love things that are fresh and new and things that are going to translate for our customer. I think, like a John Elliott showed last season, and we'll have his premiere here for New York Fashion Week Men's. That was a show we saw and it resonated, and he had as a very specific and I think well-realized point of view about, athletically influenced clothing, and his fabrics are amazing. And I think we're looking for things like that we don't have in the store at the moment, and things that excite us, I know will translate to excitement for our customer.
Fantastic. So you think men's deserved its own show week?
Without a question. I think it also for these designers to make the best use of their investment in these shows. I mean, when it was showing with the women's, it certainly gave them visibility, and we always went to scout, but it needed to be aligned with the schedule, the broader menswear schedule, so we can actually buy, so we can actually fit it into our editorial calendars when we were on the editorial side. But it now just amplifies the return on their investment, their sweat equity as well as their money, because it's a big venture to have a fashion show, and a lot of money, a lot of time, and now they're getting the absolute utmost return.
That's exactly what Robert Geller was talking about in terms of how it's fixed the whole thing. Now tell me this last question from a customer standpoint, because your customer is sophisticated. What are you looking for this season for spring? What are some key items that a guy should have in his wardrobe? Just in general, what are some things that you're thinking about?
I mean, I think it's a really fascinating season because I always love when there's this juxtaposition. I think we're seeing very decorative, embellished items, things that are quite opulent, and the alternative to that, we're seeing things that are very based on the idea of the uniform, the utilitarian. So I think that makes for a very interesting season. We've seen, a key item that I think is vital is the idea of the short zip jacket. We've seen it as outdoor pieces. We've seen it as layering underneath tailored clothing. I mean, it's just a key piece that you've got to have.
So the CFDA worked really hard in making this week happen, and you were included in pivotal in that process of sort of helping and providing your expertise. Tell me a little bit about that and how it came together.
More of an initial voice. I think I can't take any credit for that. I mean, Stephen was really the true champion here, and we had a brief conversation a couple of years ago when we spoke about the possibilities for a men's fashion week here in New York that was aligned with the global menswear fashion schedule, and he heard that and really took it to heart and worked really, really hard to kind of come up with this. We've formed a committee and just spoke about all the aspects of it that would, make this viable and vital. Getting sponsorships and having foreign press here and foreign buyers and every aspect of it that is the part of any successful global fashion week. But he's the true champion, and that he saw the possibilities and really worked hard to get it to come to this amazing venue that they've created.
And it's day 2, and what do you think so far?
I think it's thrilling. I mean, the energy is so great, and the party that we went to last night, there was such a great energy in the room, and everybody's excited to be here, and I think excited for the debut of this. And think everybody's really, really thrilled. I know we're very thrilled.
Good. And it took someone like the CFDA to bring together all these different parts, the sponsorships, the retailers.
I
We
think
needed somebody to kind of.
without them, I don't think this would be able to happen. And it needed a champion like Stephen to kind of pull all of those items and pull all those. Anyway,
Moving
you know what I'm
parts.
saying?
No, you got it. That's perfect.
Pull it all together.